afternoon to my beloved students. All right, so as I mentioned, as I did promise to you all, today we go to hypothesis testing. Lebih kepada revise, okay, refreshing that you have learned from some subjects before this. Okay, so this slides are from Sekarang's book. Okay, sorry, yes, Sekarang's book. Okay, so when we talk about hypothesis testing, is that we need to develop the hypothesis questions, right? So we do have some we can have type 1, type 2, or statistical power. Okay, so normally type 1 refer as an alpha. Okay, the symbol alpha here. So maksudnya probability of we want to reject the null hypothesis, right? When it is actually true. If type 2 error, or in other way we refer as a beta, you can see here, is that the probability of failing to reject the null hypothesis given that the alternative hypothesis is also actually true. Okay, so they have two types, and then and last one is we do have statistical power 1 minus beta, means that the probability of correctly we reject the null hypothesis. We have null and we reject or not reject them. So this is the function of hypothesis. So kita nak see the relationship. Normally want to see the relationship. Okay, so this is about when we require this topic is about hypothetical deductive. All right. So we require hypothesis to be falsifiable or not falsifiable. Okay, so we need to develop the null hypothesis. Okay, so H nulls required to in order either we want to reject or not in order to support the alternative hypothesis we call H alternative. Okay, so this is we call as a differential. So all this evidence, okay, is required statistical evidences, all this kind of is differential statistic. Okay, so from here we can go ahead to either regression analysis or multiple analysis, multiple MANOVA and so on. So we have to do some conclusion from the hypothesis that we discover, okay, about the population from sample. Okay, so actually they have either univariate or multivariate. So you don't have to apply all of these techniques. You just choose the most appropriate, as I did mention previously. You just choose the most appropriate with what you already go embark now. Okay, I think this one is a metric. Okay, because it's a metric data. I think typo here. So you can see either. Oh, sorry. I think I already mentioned this previous class that we can have test. If you want to test a hypothesis on a single mean, means that the metric data is only one sample. We only have one sample to test. Okay. Then the punya non-metric dia adalah chi-square. If we want to test hypothesis about two related mean, okay, let's say ada group yang buat dua sampel kan, satu student UM, satu student Unisha for example. So either independent, maknanya it look like independent sample. Okay, then you have to this to be either the non-metric or not. Okay, or you just focus on independent sample to test, or maybe it could be if a related, it could consider as repair sample to test. I believe all of you already understand this one. That's why I say that today we more on refreshing back what you can be combine all what you have learned before this, maybe some selected subjects that related for this statistical analysis. Okay, so we do have here either between univariate and multivariate. So, or maybe you have several means, okay, more than two means. So you can use the ANOVA or the matrix chi-square. So you can see here all the For the univariate, the non-metric, most of chi-square can compliable. If you want to do it multivariate, okay, maximum you have some more than one variance. So we can have one metric dependent variable, or one non-metric, or more than one metric. So maybe you know all of this, but you don't know this one to upper, this one to upper, right? Macam for my student previous, ada yang using discriminant analysis. Sometimes I'm using logistic regression. Sometimes they are using Mann-Whitney U-test. Okay, so I believe they are already checked all the criteria before they determine all these techniques. Okay, so again, you don't have to do all of this statistical. You just select the most appropriate statistical that compliable to your research, right? So if you want to do one sample to task, means that you have to what does it mean? This technique means that you have to test the hypothesis where the mean of the population is equal to a comparison standard. But PAT means that you have is a mean before and after. Okay, treatment is example, intervention for example. So okay, so pernah dengar parametric and non-parametric? So Wilcoxon sign test is a non-parametric. I think ada satu subjek statistik dalam non-parametric test. Okay, for what? For examining significant difference between two related samples or repeated measurement. Ini ada one, two related means. So semua ni nama orang lah sebenarnya. Kalau you remember, McNamara's test where the non-parametric method used on nominal data. Okay, so all this dia punya function, dia punya fungsi-fungsi all these tests. Okay, so they'll be used for before after studies or for experimental effect. Apa tu tak boleh? Dah lah. Dah habis. Sudah. Macam banyak tadi. Okay. Tadi kat mana kita? Okay, so McNamara, so dependent sample is done to see if there are any significant differences in the means for two groups in the variable of interest about two unrelated means. Mana dia dependent. Okay, when we see the word of independent, mana dia tak berkait. Okay, if you decide to test on several means, okay, apa dia several means ah? Tengok balik nota subjek yang related dengan ANOVA ni. Apa dia? To examine the significance between among more than two groups related for interval or ratio scale dependent variables. Okay, regression ada either simple regression, okay, or ni regression right? Pernah familiar this plot? Simple linear regression. Tu formula dia. Remember? Hi, cakap hi, simple linear regression. Itu ada dia punya ordinary least square estimation. Alamak, ada terlepas saya telefon. Okay, so dia nampak situ. Okay. So if you using SPSS, dia dah bantu you. It can help you for analysis using the multiple linear regression. Okay, so like this. So you biasa buat kan? So they come out with this. They will output. This is the output. Okay, R square, just the R square. Okay, so the regression, a residual. So all this output will be calculated by the SPSS. Okay, so and that's not this one. So if you plan to analysis using ANOVA and so on, you should know how to discuss or interpret the output. Okay, don't leave it like that. Okay, don't leave it the output is like that. Then you no discussion so on. So it's just like a result mentah, what we call something like that. So yeah, model validation. So okay, maybe for us to this one dia lebih emphasizing lah to validity itu sendiri. Okay, so this one you just check check. Okay, if you fulfill, should be okay. Okay, so this one another this one is a for R square. Ini dia punya how to measure the R square, see proportion of the variation. Okay, so R square, so likelihood to date. Okay, this regarding on the data lah. Okay, the significance. Okay, so you can see here H1 not H now. So at the end, parameter significance and so the result. Okay, so let's say the conceptual model. So we want to respond back with the conceptual model that are using from this example. Okay, physical attractiveness likely to date. Banyak sebenarnya saya kena explain banyak tapi saya rasa nanti lama. Alright, so this one is a for multiple regression analysis. As I mentioned it early, I just do want you recalling back, okay? Recalling back what you have learned previously. Okay, madam, tak ingat dah. So today I just trigger out, then you have to relook back your assignments and your exercises that how you want to apply in this course. Okay, if multiple means that we use more than one, means that metric or non-metric independent variable to explain variance in a dependent variable. Alright, so we do have, let's say tadi ada satu-satu kan, this one ni ada dua, for example. Apa yang banyak, apa yang more than one tu? Independent variable. Okay, so the yang belah kanan tu still maintain one dependent variables. Okay, so this is the results. Okay, so they have they start with the summary, the ANOVA and the coefficients. So you should know how to read all this value. Okay, let's say that the moderator here, gender. Let's see. Okay, so that's the moderator. Moderator can be qualitative or quantitative. For this case, it's a qualitative. Okay, the effect, the direction or strength of the relationship between dependent and dependent variable. Remember that I mentioned about moderators or mediators in the early part, right? Okay, so this analytical representation, dia punya formula lah, some sort like that, right? So okay, how many times the output is coming? Yeah. All right. So this one, let's say here, this is showing the interaction significant effect on the dependent variable. Okay. So ada lagi. Let's see. Ada lagi. Okay. Community ini untuk mediating pula. Okay. Nanti just now here is moderator gender. If we have mediating, okay, specific here. Let's say ni. Okay, so how the result will rise. Okay, this one. Okay, comparative. Okay, so significant effect on the dependent variable. So dia akan keluar dalam table flat. Okay lah. Okay, step nampak pula. Alright, so ini example lah. Okay, ini however if dia dapat more than ni, dia jadi insignificant effect on dependent variable on dependent variable. Okay, so nampak result dia sama-sama lagi. This one is a 0.02. Okay. This one. Satu significant, satu tak significant. So how you want to conclude out? Oh, tak ada. Sorry. Alright. So let us check it here. Okay, jadi mana di sini ini the slides is more on to showing how you can see the output. Then you should how to interpret in your discussion. Alright. Okay, that's all. Thank you.